Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about an AI tool that's tackling a super old problem for small businesses, the unanswered phone call. Yeah, this is AI stepping out of the high-tech labs and showing up at your favorite local restaurant. So let's kick things off with a problem that I'm pretty sure we've all had. You know the drill. You're trying to book a table, maybe place a takeout order during the dinner rush, and the phone just rings and rings. Or even worse, it goes straight to a voicemail box that's completely full. So frustrating, right? Well, it turns out it's not just annoying for us, it's a huge, huge problem for the businesses on the other end.
And that brings us to our first section, the missed call problem. Because you see, this isn't just a minor inconvenience for you as a customer. For that restaurant you're calling, that's literally money walking right out the door. I mean, just try to put yourself in the business owner's shoes for a second. When the staff is slammed, busy serving the people who are right there in front of them, or, when the doors are locked for the night, every single one of those unanswered calls is a potential customer and their wallet deciding to go somewhere else. And the thing is, this is a 24/7 problem. It's not just during that crazy dinner rush when the kitchen is just chaos. Nope, it's also late at night when someone has that, oh shoot moment and remembers they need to book a table for tomorrow. In both cases, the result is exactly the same, a totally missed opportunity. All right, so what's the fix here? Let's get into the solution that our source material talks about, an AI-powered voice agent. Basically, think of it as a virtual receptionist. Now, hold on, this is not just some fancy new age answering machine. This AI is designed to act like a real, dedicated employee whose one and only job is to handle the phone line. But here's the kicker, it's on the clock 24/7, and yeah, it never, ever needs a coffee break. And just look at the scope of what this thing can actually do. We're not just talking about answering the phone here. It's trained to handle the real tasks a human would, taking a complicated pizza order with extra toppings and no onions, booking appointments, and even answering those simple but constant questions like, hey, what are your hours? Okay, that all sounds pretty great in theory, right? But how does it actually work when a real live customer calls in? Let's jump into a practical walkthrough and see how this all comes together to create a pretty seamless experience. So the whole process is broken down into this really simple four-step flow. The AI greets you, it figures out what you want, and then it gets it done. But here's the part that's really, really important. After it confirms everything with you on the call, it immediately follows up with a text or an email. And that final step, that's absolutely huge for making sure no mistakes are made. Okay, so now we get to the question that every business owner is asking. What does this actually do for my bottom line? What's the real, tangible impact on my business? Well, the benefits are pretty darn clear. First, you're boosting revenue because you're capturing every single sale. At the same time, you're cutting costs. But maybe just as important, you're freeing up your staff's time. This lets them focus on the customers who are physically in the restaurant, which of course leads to better service and happier people all around. And this side-by-side comparison, wow, it really puts the whole value proposition into sharp focus, doesn't it? I mean, a human can only handle one call at a time and only during business hours. The AI, it can handle an unlimited number of calls at the exact same time, 24/7, all for a flat monthly fee. That's not just an improvement, it's a fundamental shift in how a business can manage its customers. So let's take a step back for a second. What does the arrival of a practical tool like this tell us about the bigger picture, about the future of customer service in general? At the end of the day, the story here isn't really about some sci-fi sentient robot. It's much simpler. It's about using focused, smart automation to solve a really common, really frustrating, and really costly business problem. And what that does is it lets the human staff get back to focusing on what they do best, making amazing food, creating a great atmosphere, and providing that excellent personal touch that, let's be honest, an AI just can't replicate. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As this kind of technology, this seamless, instant service, becomes more and more common in our everyday lives, how is that going to change our expectations for customer service? Well, everywhere else. The next time you make a reservation, will you be talking to a human or an AI?